Tomlin's always locked in for those two. He's always given incredible clips. Let's start there. He talked about Aaron Rodgers, about how there's a process of the offseason. We're trying to construct a team. You do it through free agency. If you can't get through free agency, you go through the draft. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers allegedly was broken on NFL Network this morning on Good Morning Football, I believe, by one of your Paisano friends, that Aaron Rodgers had a throwing session this past weekend with DK Metcalf at UCLA. Now, was DK at UCLA at the same time Aaron was at UCLA and they just so happened to throw to each other, or was this something that was organized and set up? What are you kind of reading through this all, Ian, especially down there, boots on the ground, with a used suit that everybody seemingly likes?
Only used once. Lightly used, I think, is the proper term. It's not,
Okay.
Anyway.
It
still looks amazing. This was not a coincidence. This was not like, Matthew Stafford running into Brady at Yellowstone. This was a planned throwing session. Sounds like it went very well, from my understanding. It was lengthy. It was, look, Rodgers has his process. I think it's probably not as fast as many people would like. This is what he needs. It might be his last stop, probably is his last stop. He needs to make sure it's right. If that includes throwing with the newly acquired star receiver for the team, okay. It sounded like, first of all, it wasn't exactly a secret. There were several other players. Some rookies were trading kind of around. Like, it wasn't much of a secret, but it was at UCLA. It did go well. It was, part of the process for Rodgers to say, all right, maybe this is my eventual destination. And it seems to me, unless the Vikings do a complete about-face from what they've said publicly, that would be his only spot. So it feels like a matter of time, but as you probably know, getting in the head of Aaron Rodgers and trying to figure out what he's up to is difficult. So I will sort of wait till it gets firm and final, but that's just my general feel on it.
Ian, is there a chance, is there a deadline? Is there a certain date where something has to happen one way or the other here?
So the Steelers, and I think this is a little bit why there's a lot of reasons Mike Tomlin is the best. He really does respect the players, whether his future players or his current players. He respects their process. He respects their desires, and it's obvious Rodgers wants time. So they haven't said to him all right, we need an answer by March 31st or whatever. And he would be like, do you though? There's no actual deadline anyway. The draft is really the next time where things get real, because if you're the Steelers and you have Mason Rudolph, who I think they would be okay entering the season with, obviously you'd like Aaron Rodgers, but I think they'd be okay with Mason. If it's not Rodgers, they might draft someone, and obviously you would need to know by the draft. So that's kind of the only real deadline. And we've seen this before. When he was going to the Jets, I think it was the Tuesday of draft week, right? If I remember correctly, when the deal got done. I don't know when Rodgers is going to decide or when he's going to make his announcement or whatever it ends up being. But if you told me it was draft week, I wouldn't be that shocked, because that's the only time it actually sort of an answer needs to be given.
Everybody's saying it's potentially going down on April 9th at Big Night.
Oh, really?
That's what everybody's saying. I don't know that, though. Everybody's saying that.
Have you talked to the person who's running it?
Yeah, I have. Every day I talk to that person. I'm sick
in
of
the mirror.
I'm gonna be honest. I am. I've been talking to him for 37 years. I'm about done with that guy. But sure. Yeah, that person has not heard anything about that, and that person also very intrigued about how it all works out. Especially because, City of Pittsburgh, they got a team. Always have a team. If you get a Hall of Fame quarterback over there, I know some Yenzers are going to be kind of cold to start, but they were probably cold to start on Russell Wilson, depending upon what the deal is for Aaron if he was to go there. And allegedly the contract has already been decided by the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers for weeks.
Yeah.
So whenever that number is announced, whatever it is, we assume, we might be wrong unless that is going to be a low number, not that big of a number. It's not going to be a gigantic number. And I think Yenzers will be like, all right, let's go on a run here. Let's see what the hell we can have. And then maybe they still draft a quarterback in that whole thing. Okay, let's go down to Florida where you are at. Do you know the number? Do you know the number?
Yeah, you act like you know.
I don't know, but I was told manageable. I think you're. I believe what you are saying, that it'll be something where no one's going to be like 58. It's not going to be like that. Manageable.
Yeah, or 40. I don't think it's going to be any. I think it's going to be. Once again, I have not talked to any of the parties involved in weeks. AJ might know actually. AJ.
Numbers wise, I was going to ask Ian, what's the range? What could he sign for?
What did Florio say?
Yeah, what did Florio say?
Florio said 60.
What did Schulte say? Ian?
Well, he said, "Give me a latte wrap, or I'll slap you in the mouth." You know what he
It's a
said?
number, right?
You know what he said?
Jeez.
My God.
I don't know.
Yeah, what's the range?
As far as what the actual number is, I just to be honest, I do not know, and I don't think they're there yet where they could say like, all right, it's deals agreed to, just waiting on Rodgers. I think there's still some things that need to be finalized, but I would agree with you guys. Like, I'd be a little like you, Pat. You were saying it seemed like you were saying might be under 40. Like, I think that's probably right because there is a history of veteran quarterbacks signing either with their own teams or with new teams kind of last year of their career or maybe second or whatever it ends up being, understanding like I've made a lot of money. The number doesn't have to be crazy because you want to build the team around them. So that's kind of what I expect.
Aaron Rodgers has actually made the most. I don't want to be pocket watching here, but NFL money is all very publicly broadcasted. Aaron has been the most successful whenever it comes to cash, and obviously that is a good thing, especially if you're somebody that gives back. Philanthropist of the Year in California.
Okay.
Thank you, Aaron.
Hell
Thank you for your
yeah.
service, Aaron.
Nice job. Let's go.
Okay, so let's get to. You were never Philanthropist of the Year in any of the states that you live in. You're absolute. Let's remember that whenever we're talking about Aaron.
Not yet.
Yeah, you're right. Booze bag, maybe some of the cities.